Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with Game 2 of the Southern Assault Grand Tournament in 2012. So, because I was put into a grouping of 4 based on composition scores, I knew that my second game would be against Empire again, or against Bretonnia. And the Bretonian player won his game, I won my game, so it is Bretonnia versus Bretonnia. After this, the comp system doesn't really affect who you're matched up against anymore. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited. I was really excited for this game. One, I have never played Bretonnia against Bretonnia and not just had a ton of fun. I think it makes for a great Civil War battles. So I was looking forward for that. Number two, I actually really like the Blood and Glory scenario. Now way we're playing it is if you can break your opponent's fortitude, which in this game you mean you have to get them down to 3, you get 800 additional victory points. So even if it might be a closer game, doing that really helps. If you're the second player to break the fortitude, so if both of your fortitudes broken, the second player gets, I forget, it's like 300 or 500 or something like that. But you still get some points, it's just less. And the game otherwise still continues on, and you still score it the normal way beyond that. So yeah, I was really looking forward to it. So he kind of followed an MSU approach to it. Very character heavy, relatively small units, and quite a few of them. So he has 2 bowman units on the left, 36 men-at-arms. He's got 5 Knights of the Realm. They have the Gleaming Pennant. That means they can re-roll their first failed leadership test. So it tells me he probably designed this unit to be a flanker. He does have a Paladin with the Ogre Blade in there, so pretty good against Knights. He's got 4 Peg Knights. He's got 2 units of Knights of the Realm. It looks like they're bigger units, but really they're not. There's only 7 of them with 2 characters each. Both of his level 2s are in them. He's got his Paladin in the leftmost unit and his General in the right unit. His General is really equipped with a ton of stuff. Just kind of a good all-around fighter. His BSB is equipped almost exactly as mine is. Then he's got, and he has standard discipline on his Lord's unit. So he's got Leadership 10 bubble. Then he's got 4 Grail Knights with the Banner of Eternal Flame. I say kudos to him. I think Grail Knights just scare me. They scare me to take because they're so expensive and they're toughness 3. They die just as easily as the Knight Errant for just a lot more points. So if he's willing to take them, kudos to him. Then he's got 5 Knights of the Realm. They have the Banner of Shalom, so you cannot do a stand and shoot against them. And he has another Bretonnian Lord, so really just a lot of points in Lord level characters here. This one is designed to kill monsters, which in this case, a lot of those upgrades are kind of wasted. But still, nothing to sneeze at. He is a Bretonnian Lord. So facing him, I've got on the left Peg Knights, Fast Cav, 40 men-at-arms and bus. Then I've got 8 Knights Errant with the Eternal Flame Banner, and my General. He's designed to be a monster killer. These guys are great because to go against regen monsters. Again, it doesn't really affect this game a whole lot, but heroic killing blow is still nice. Any kind of killing blow is still nice against knights. And again, the Heartwood Lance allows him to re-roll failed rolls to wound, so I still like my General in a fight. Then I've got, let's see, that's 10 Knights of the Realm, and this has 2 characters in it, my Battle Standard Bearer, as well as my Prophetess level 4 with Beasts. I've got a Trebuchet behind him. I've got more Knights of the Realm. This one has 11 Knights plus a Paladin. He's kind of a tank. Built, armor weapon skill 10 with a rerollable armor save. Then I've got more men-at-arms. My Damsel, level 2 beast, so she will always be able to take the transformation spell, or almost always. And then I've got she gives that unit the same ward save that the knights get. And the problem is that the model I use for the transformation does not fit the footprint of these 20 mil bases. And so when I get into a fight, if I change her into a mountain chimera, she goes outside the unit, and a lot of times that pushes her outside the combat. So not nearly as useful as it is with my beast army. Anyway, then I have some bowmen on the right. That's that piece of terrain right there in the middle. That is impassable. Except you can go through that little gap, but unless you're a character, you really can't fit there. So I kind of like the men-at-arms next to that to guard their flank. And otherwise, I think with that there, I feel comfortable pushing them up far and threatening charges and almost forcing him to charge them and try to get rid of them. So because this is Blood and Glory, I'll keep track of the fortitude during the game. I'm starting with 8. He is starting with a whopping 11. So to get these points, I'm going to have to kill, I mean, just take a ton of banners and or kill his general and his battle standard bearer to get him down to 3. So anyway, I Vanguard up as you can see, and then since we both take the opportunity to pray to get the blessing, he wins the roll off and gets to go first. And you can see he's doing an envelopment here. He moves everybody, almost everybody, to the right, and is very aggressive with his rightmost unit coming around that impassable terrain. And then he takes the one unit that has the gleaming pendant and is circling around to the other flank. So here are just some other views. There's that flank. And normally I would feel very comfortable charging my Peg Knights into the face of that unit, except he has the Paladin with the Ogre Blade. I don't know if I like that matchup very much. So he goes to shooting, and his peasants actually put a wound on a knight. And we go to my turn, bottom of turn 1. Sorry about the blurry picture. The main reason I have this here is just to show kind of overall what's going on. Now I'll zoom into close-ups, this on the far left. So I decided to charge the Peg Knights into the bowmen. And it's funny because bowmen are surprisingly resilient against stuff like this. Because one, they have flaming attack, so I have to take a fear test, and I passed it, thank goodness. But if I fail it, all of a sudden he's got a better chance to beat me. And because of the defensive stakes, I don't get to count my lance bonus. So this is kind of, it's dicier than I would normally think. I really need to kill at least 6 models, otherwise he's stubborn, probably on an 8. And if they stick, I'm going to lose my Peg Knights. If they break, I'm going to force panic tests on the other bowmen and the men-at-arms, both of which could easily be failed, and I could really wrap up this flank over here. Here's a view just of the middle, and here's one on the right. The reason I had to reform this knight unit to protect my flank, I mean, I could have used the men-at-arms, reformed them in horde formation, and shifted them to the right. But I really like those men-at-arms with their ward save and with their ranks, with the impassable guarding their flank, just moving forward so I can kind of force some decisions on his knights and maybe stay back a little bit more with my knights and countercharge with them. With these guys, these knights, I'm very comfortable reforming them. If he charges my bowman, no matter what happens at that point, I'm going to be able to get the charge on him, and I think I like my odds there, and I won't need all those extra ranks to win that combat. So, and if he decides not to do anything, then I'll just reform and be right back where I'm needed. So during the shooting phase, I actually kill a knight, which I just love. It's so unlikely. Drop a rock that scatters, hits right in the middle of these 2 units, and I do, strength 5 hits, kill 1 knight from each of those units, and I'll take it. It's a start. And over here, yeah, I do exactly 6 wounds. Thank goodness for Stomp. I overrun, I force panic test, the men-at-arms pass, the other archers don't, and they either run off the board or I catch them. I don't know which one it is. Yeah, so that takes him Fortitude 11 down to 9, so that is very much a start. We're almost even now on the Fortitude. So we go to top of turn 2. He goes in and takes the bait with his knights on the right-hand side, charges my archers, and otherwise, he gets very aggressive on that right flank, takes his Grail Knights and his Peg Knights to overwhelm that flank. And it's not a bad idea, because now if I countercharge those Knights, I'm looking to get countercharged by Grail Knights and Peg Knights. So, very interesting. Otherwise, his other Knights unit really surprised me. He just really spread them out. I think they're within range of leadership and reroll for each other, but otherwise, yeah, just kind of gave himself more options, I guess. Here's a close-up of the right-hand flank. And there's the left. And this was, yeah, just a little bit surprising. I didn't really think about his knights zooming over so far out of my line of sight, and now he's just in my flank. It's not a huge deal. I really don't know what I want to do with these men-at-arms anyway. So I don't mind reforming the men-at-arms just to try to hold off these knights errant. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know what to do. And over here, I'm not really, that's him spreading out. But, I'm thinking of this as I've got him outranged. I have better magic than him, and I've got a trebuchet, and he doesn't. So if he wants to stay back, it's just going to give me more turns to whittle him down. So after combat, he beats the bowmen, and they break and lose their banner. So I'm down to 7 to his 9 fortitude. He's set up for a countercharge. Of course, he could always flee the charge and just leave me with a failed test. I think if that happens, though, it might be tough for him to countercharge with his guys. but it doesn't matter to me. That's worth it, and if he flees, then he loses the blessing, and it makes that unit a little bit easier to deal with in the future. So we go to bottom of turn 2. Big news is one piece of news is I take the Battle Standard Bearer out of his unit and move him to the side. I want him protected, but because my opponent doesn't have any shooting, I feel safe enough with him hiding behind that impassable terrain, giving a reroll to my rightmost unit of knights as well as the knights over here, with the exception of my general's unit. But my general's unit I feel somewhat safe with, only because he's got that killing blow, re-rolling rolls to wound, strength 4, and during the magic phase, knowing that they're somewhat close to his Battle Standard Bearer's unit, I'm going to put Weissens on them just so they have a better chance of sticking around. Here on the right, I hate the blurry picture, but I need to put it in here. When I charged him, he fled, and he rolled just nothing and landed right in front of those units. So I went ahead and completed the charge, and then after I completed the charge, I took a leadership test and then reformed to get my ranks back. So now they're both, and I angled them so that if he charges me, they're both in my front. So I don't think he's going to do too awful many wounds to me, and I'm going to have ranks, so I'll be probably steadfast on an 8 rerollable. I feel pretty comfortable about my odds there. I did get him down to fortitude, so it's now 7 to 8, so gain that one back. Over here, yeah, I just decided to reform my men-at-arms so that he can't, I measured it so he really can't get out of my line of sight. If he moves as far as he can, I can still see them, and if I charge my men-at-arms, I like that. He can just turn around and go back towards my general, and if he circles back around, my general may be able to see him, and if he can't, I'll just reform the men-at-arms again. I'm very comfortable moving back and forth like that. And if he does that, I might use my fast cav to get into conga line so he can't turn around and come back this way again. So we go to top of turn 3. Yeah, the big news is that his BSB and his unit of Knights of the Realm charged my general and his unit of Knights Errant. Again, I'm comfortable with what my general is able to do, but that still scares me a little bit. I really need to be steadfast there, and I don't have a reroll. When I got all clever with my Battle Standard Bearer, I took him out of range of that unit, so I'm going to have one chance if I lose combat, or else I'm going to lose 3 fortitude and a very important character. Over here, he realized he probably couldn't get out of range of around my flank of my men-at-arms. I don't know why he didn't think to go ahead and swoop around, especially once he charged my general's unit. It could be that he was worried that my general's unit might win and could reform and charge him on my turn. I really don't know, but anyway, he did that. Here on the right, this really surprised me. He chose not to charge and instead was able to wheel around. I wasn't expecting his Grail Knights to be able to make that wheel, but they could. They wheeled around, and so neither of these units can be charged by me, and that makes for a dilemma, because what do I do? I mean, if I just keep reforming, he's just going to keep on playing with me, and he's going to get behind my lines. Or I can just say, it just makes for a dilemma of what to do with these guys. Yeah, here's the one I'm worried about. I'm very, very worried about that. Over here, yeah, he cast some spell. I don't remember what, but in so doing, he blew up his unit. So this unit of knights has his general and his level 2, a champion, and the standard bearer, and everybody else is dead. So very, very much appreciated. I really like it when my opponents do that for me. And then after combat, oh, this was awful. My general just didn't do much. I mean, I did a wound or 2 on him, but he did several on me. And I forgot, I think I needed a 7, but I had one chance to get it. I failed it. Not only broke me, but ran me down as well. So I am thinking I am in a world of trouble here. I am down to 5 fortitude. If he gets another, takes another 2 banners, that he's going to get 800 victory points and almost certainly the win. And now this is not good. Let's see, bottom of 3, my turn. So yeah, some great things happened, and otherwise I feel like I'm just dancing around. So I really think that unit of knights that just killed my general is going to charge my trebuchet. So I reform my knights with my my big Knights of the Realm unit, so I can countercharge. I think it's going to be wasted effort. I think if he charges a trebuchet, he's going to win. He should overrun, get off the board, and I won't be able to charge him. But I'm setting it up just in case. Other items, a note, I went ahead and I got a double charge here, and this is good news for me. The bad news is I'm in the woods, so if I lose combat, I'm not going to be steadfast. But I'm really thinking I shouldn't lose combat there. I mean, we both have banners. I'll have a charge, you know, 2 if not 3 extra ranks, and a rear. So I'm hoping just to beat this unit through combat res. Over here, I decided to take my Peg Knights into the flank of these men-at-arms, knowing they'll be steadfast, but they're going to be steadfast on a 5. Because my opponent, he told me he doesn't like taking champions in these units, and I just really like that one bump in leadership. So my thinking is, I should, you know, have a charge, a flank. He'll have a banner and 3 ranks. So I'm starting down by 2, but I'm really confident that with all the attacks and the stomps, that I'm going to get more wounds, I'm going to win combat, he'll be steadfast 5, I should break him. So here's hoping. And then the great news was I needed a really long charge to make my men-at-arms into his general's unit, and I made it. I think I needed like an 11, and my thinking was, why not go for it? There's nothing else this unit's doing for me. If I fail the charge, I don't care. So very, very happy with that. Yeah, that could be huge for me. And over here, I take this unit. I tested to march. I decided I'm just going to go around the impassable terrain. His Peg Knights are welcome to charge me. They'll be my rear or my flank. I really don't care. I'm going to win combat. I'll be steadfast 8 rerollable, and then I'll just reform and beat him through combat res in the future. So I'm actually kind of hoping he charges me with his Peg Knights. And if he doesn't, I just don't care. I'm going to go somewhere else where I'm of more use. And over here, yeah, he actually did. He did 1 wound to me, but one of my guys is already losing a wound, and I just fluffed everything. I want to say I rolled like, it doesn't matter. I didn't do enough wounds. I don't even know. I think he won combat even. It was just crazy. And over here, I could do no wounds to this unit. Crazy enough, I mean, he didn't do many wounds to me. I mean, I started with 40. It looks like I still have 40. So he killed one mounted yeoman, and that's it. So, I mean, I had a charge, a rear, 2 extra ranks. I won by a bunch, and he passed. So, yeah, whatever. I think I'm still going to win that combat. And up here, yeah, kind of the same thing. I mean, he did several wounds to me. His general's pretty tough. I only did 1 wound to him, which I thought was pretty weak. I may have done a wound to the damsel. I'm not sure. Wait, no, I didn't, because she wasn't up there at that point. So I was only able to do 1 wound to him. I had all the static combat res, and it really just didn't matter. So he stuck. I reformed into Horde to give myself more attacks. And we go to his turn, top of 4. Brings his Grail Knights and his Peg Knights around. He decided not to charge the Trebuchet, and I'm not sure why. I think he felt that he was so concerned with saving his knights that were tied up with my men-at-arms on the left that he wanted to get his Battle Standard Bearer close by them. So he took the Battle Standard Bearer out of that unit to get him close by, and then basically did like a reform, move out of the way with his Knights of the Realm to get out of my charge arc, and then I think he's looking to do some counter charges on his next turn. So yeah, I didn't really think much about it. I mean, it's frustrating. He has so much movement. I keep on. It's like I can't charge him anywhere. But that's, you know, that's using knights to your advantage. Over here, yeah, once he turned to face me and he had static combat res of a banner and 3 ranks, yeah, I just couldn't keep up with it, and he beat my Peg Knights, and then he ran him down. I'm like, come on, guys, get away. So luckily that doesn't affect Fortitude, but my Peg Knights are off the board. Up here, yeah, I just can't do any wounds. I did 1 wound to the damsel. I killed his Standard Bearer, which was nice, so I got another Fortitude on him. So I'm down to 5, he's down to 7. I still think that ultimately I'm going to win this. I'm winning combat every time, but he's just, you know, he's leadership. He has been leadership 10. Now he's leadership 9. So even if I win by a few, he's just been able to make those rolls. And then over here, this was very, very nice. I mean, his Knights of the Realm, even with the reroll, couldn't keep up with all the static combat res, plus with all those attack strength 4. I mean, I was able to do a couple wounds on them. So they broke. I reformed with men-at-arms, chased them down with my mounted yeoman, and the Fortitude is 5 and 6. Now we're getting dicey. We're getting to the point now where we can see how one of us could get down to 3 fairly soon. Now what I love about this is that this happened on his turn. So whenever you win combat on your opponent's turn, you can reform to get the charge you want. So on his idea of taking his Battle Standard Bearer around, now his BSB is vulnerable to a Men-at-Arms charge. So we go to bottom of 4, I charge his Battle Standard Bearer, he flees, I try to redirect into his Knights of the Realm, and I fail my redirect test. And they couldn't get to the BSB because they couldn't wheel around his Knights to get there. So they do that. I reform my big units of Knights of the Realm because his Peg Knights and his Grail Knights can charge him. And if they do, I just need to be steadfast and hope I hold until maybe I can countercharge with that other unit. So here's just more views. There's that. You know, I'm not really concerned about his getting charged because they're both are in my flank. The Grail Knights and the Peg Knights are in my front, I mean. And there's only so many attacks he's going to get. And I think it's going to, you know, that first time he charges might do some damage, but after that he's not going to wear this unit down, I don't think. So still just other views. And yeah, we were finally able to do some damage here. I killed his damsel. I just had combat res on him. He finally failed his break test, and I just restrained because I figured he'd just run off the board, and he did. So that was very, very nice. That's 2 fortitude points. So he's down to 4. If I get one more banner, I get 800 victory points. So I reformed just to face his other men-at-arms. This knight unit down at the bottom, I think if his men-at-arms charged and rolled like an 11 or 12, they can get to me, and that would be bad because I need this unit to be able to countercharge. So we go to his turn 5. His Grail Knights charge my Knights of the Realm. His Knights of the Realm on the left charge my men-at-arms, who have the +1 strength and toughness buff. You can see by that token by him. His Battle Standard Bearer rallies, and otherwise everybody is as you can see him. And it's funny, here again his Peg Knights did not charge the Trebuchet. Instead they flew up so they could countercharge the Men-at-Arms on his turn 6. And I don't know, I don't know. His Knights do need some help, but he could have charged the Trebuchet, probably won, and then just reformed and been pretty much as well off as he is now anyway. So here's that charge. I think I am just under half in those woods. I mean, I'm looking at that now. Like if he does a few wounds, especially, I'll be just enough out of the woods that I should be steadfast if he wins. He may not win. He doesn't have that many attacks, and I'm starting off with an extra one or two combat res. Here's the Grail Knights coming in, and yeah, his guys came in and didn't even win. I was strength 5, toughness 4. I did some damage to that unit, easily broke him, ran him down, and got into the rear of his Battle Standard Bearer. So right there, that nets me 800 points. So I'm going to keep on keeping track of fortitude, but as far as my points are concerned, nothing else matters at this point. What does matter is that he doesn't get me down to 3, because that's going to give him a chunk of points back. So over here he comes in. You can see he does a few wounds. I think I do 1 wound to him, but for the most part we just stick. And now here's the trick, the challenging thing. My Knights of the Realm can see them. It barely could. It was kind of weird, but they can see them. The problem is my Knight unit can't fit because of that piece of impassable terrain. I've got to come straight past my Battle Standard Bearer, who you can see at the top of this picture, wheel enough to touch, which is barely clips them by the time I get around my BSB, and then when I close the door, that piece of impassable terrain blocks me. So what I do instead is I take my Paladin out of that unit, and again, I was concerned that he couldn't see, but you can see of this picture, he was in the front left as you're facing the unit, or front right if you're the point of view of the unit on the right. And if you draw a 45-degree angle, he can see that far Grail Knight. So he could make it into the flank of the Grail Knights, which really helped. Otherwise, everything is as you can see. There we go. Now he's equipped with a great weapon, so he's hard to kill, and when he hits, he's hitting at strength 6. So that's kind of nice. Over here I drop a rock on the Men-at-Arms head, which, I mean, they weren't much of a threat anyway. Now they are no threat whatsoever. And during the magic phase, I get the Savage Beast of Horus off on my Green Knight. So he's, 6 attacks at strength 9. But he was in a challenge. So he won the challenge. We won combat easily. when he broke, his standard bearer died, but we couldn't run him down. And couldn't get into the flank of the Peg Knights, which was kind of a bummer. So his fortitude's down to 1, not that it matters, but nice to clear that up. And if you look at the top, my men-at-arms beat his Battle Standard Bearer, which is no surprise. I mean, I had a rear charge on him. So yeah, things are not looking good for the other Bretonnians. So we get a top of 6. He just flies his Peg Knights to save them. Nobody can charge him. He does rally his 1 Grail Knight. His men-at-arms back up as much as possible. We go to the bottom of 6. I get a dual charge here. I get a dual charge against the men-at-arms. Now this one we actually didn't even roll. We were really tight on time, and I just proposed to him, look, why don't we not roll this off? Let's just say I'm going to win combat. You're not steadfast. See if you can pass Snake Eyes, and then see if I run you down. Or if you want, we can roll it off. And he was saying, well, if we roll it off, you might kill me to a man, and that's to your advantage. And I was like, I'll take the chance. So we didn't even do the combat. We said, I won on Snake Eyes, and let's see if he can get away. So during the magic phase, I got the Savage Beast off again. So yeah, I mean, and +1 strength and toughness. It was overkill. We killed the last Grail Knight. And over here, again, we didn't roll it off. He failed his Snake Eye test. He ran away, and he got away. But of course, he lost the banner. So he probably had like 1 or 2 men-at-arms saving those few points for him over there. But at the end of the game, it looks like this. It ended up being an absolute drubbing, a 20-0 victory with plenty of points to spare. I was kind of surprised at the end. I mean, I could see when things started going my way, but when he had killed my general, my Knights Errant, I was really worried about the game. And then it turned around very, very nicely. So I got 20 points for this game, which gives me 33 out of a possible 40. I'm guessing at this point I'm healthy near the top, but I'm not at the very, very top. My next game was played on table 2, so it's very likely I was in the top 4 overall at this point. So anyway, that's it for the Bretonnian Civil War. Hope you enjoyed it.